Well, I said I was going to take this field back and try to reclaim it from all these trees and these saplings that have been growing. A forest of stuff about that big is what I'm contending with. And the stuff that's never been cut in the last 8 years, 9 years that we've been here, that stuff's even bigger. I'm probably gonna have to use the excavator on a lot of that if I want to get in there. We came in here yesterday and started pulling stumps with the excavator. I probably pulled about 100 and got to the point where I needed Jafana to come down here and help me start getting some organization to this. We're gonna make some piles over here to the side, and in this draw that runs that direction, it runs from there, starts over that way and runs right on down into the forest, into the actual swamp and the woods. I'm gonna dig the biggest, deepest hole that I can in that draw, and I'm gonna bury these stumps because I don't feel like having a fire, and all I'm trying to do with this field is put livestock on it. I'm not gonna build a structure down in the draw, so all I have to do is dig that hole, put them in there, cover them back up, and move on. That's the plan anyway. Yeah, she loves organizing me. Well, another day has passed. I am back out here. I know the battery died yesterday while I was working, but I worked until it started to rain. This is how far I got. That's a big daggone hole. Now, I'm not sure I can give it any perspective, but it's big enough to fall into, and I wouldn't be too happy if I did. I am making it as deep as I possibly can, because the deeper I make it, the less circumference I have to make the hole, and I want to be able to get as many stumps down inside this thing as possible. And I'm kind of making this process up as I go. Originally, I was just going to start digging here and dig straight down almost until I hit the woods and just bury everything in a trench in the middle. But this hole is making me think that if I just leave it open, I can move around here and clear the rest of the stuff that I have to clear for a while, and I can put all of the stumps in here. So I'm just going to go for it. For the next couple of weeks, this is my major priority. So hopefully these trees will grow up and provide some shade for the animals. I don't want them to be sitting out in the middle of the field just baking all the time. But I also have to get enough of these trees out of here that I'm able to actually do anything with it. Put the drone up this morning. It was pretty interesting. It really showed what we were working with and how much area I have already cleared just with the Ventrac, and how much I have left to do. But if I don't get these stumps out here, I'm going to keep running that same cycle where I come in here and I clear the stuff out, and then I'm beating the living crap out of my machine. And I broke it a couple times, and I did the same thing when I had an 8-foot rotary cutter on the back of the tractor. You start hitting a stump with that thing and it gets lively real fast. So I want to get these stumps out of here so that we can actually turn this into a natural pasture. We're going to seed a little bit this year just because of all the disturbance to the soil, but for the most part, we're going to leave the stuff that's just coming up so that when the animals get on it, they can eat it and naturally bring it back with the manure and everything and get whatever natural stuff grows here, and we'll have a meadow. Gives me flashbacks from when we were first starting out up here, clearing everything. And we started clearing it ourselves because we had to fire our first set of loggers. Just to give some perspective of how big this darn hole is. And it's fairly deep. The sun's already gone down behind the mountain. I'm gonna guess it's about 7:30. So I've got maybe an hour of light left. I've got a little escape route in case somebody's over here working by themselves and they happen to fall in. That includes dogs, any wild animals. I don't want to come back up here and find a wounded dog or a dead dog in here, or a deer or something that got stuck in here and can't get out. The walls of this thing are fairly steep and it is fairly deep. So I went ahead and made a little ramp for things to get out. I'm gonna see if I can get most of this pile behind me in here tonight, and then I'll back up and we'll get ready to come back in here in a day or two and we'll do some more. Well, I'm pretty happy with that. That is a big hole, and I got plenty of room for more stumps. That is the vast majority of all the stumps that we dug up in this small portion right here. So I've got a lot more to dig up over there. I'm gonna push myself down toward the swamp over there. I'm gonna try to get as much of this field as I can back under my control so that I can put a fence around it, get those animals up here, because this is just too good of a resource to waste. I can't just let it go back and be wild. I like having the trees grow back, and I like nature, and I like all the habitat for wild animals, but I have to be able to use my land, so I've got to get it back under control.